All right, everyone, welcome back. Let's get real for a sec, okay? You know those nights where you just crash on the couch and binge watch like 3 hours of whatever's trending?
Oh, absolutely.
I'll admit I've been there. It feels good, right? It's like a reward after a crazy day.
Totally.
But lately, it's kind of hit me. Is it really rewarding? Like deep down.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if I'm just chasing that quick dopamine hit instead of, actually enjoying things.
That's a great point. It's like we're wired for instant gratification these days.
Exactly. So that's what we're diving into today, the whole dopamine detox thing.
Sounds intriguing.
We're going to break down this concept from the English Dose podcast and see if it lives up to the hype.
All right, let's do it.
So, to kick things off, what is dopamine exactly? And why is everyone talking about detoxing from it?
So dopamine is a neurotransmitter. Basically, it's like a chemical messenger in your brain.
Yeah.
It plays a big role in how we feel pleasure and reward.
Okay, so it's the brain's happy juice.
Kind of, yeah. When you do something pleasurable, like eating delicious food or achieving a goal, your brain releases dopamine and you feel good.
Ah, I get it. So then what's the problem?
Well, the issue is that in our modern world, we're surrounded by things that trigger dopamine releases constantly. Think about it. Social media notifications, video games, sugary snacks.
Oh, yeah, it's nonstop.
Right. And all this constant stimulation can actually lead to our dopamine receptors becoming less sensitive over time.
Less sensitive. What does that mean?
Imagine you keep turning up the volume on your headphones. Eventually, you need it super loud just to hear the same level of sound.
Oh, I get it. So it's like our brains get used to the dopamine rush and we need more and more to feel the same level of pleasure.
Exactly. And that's where the dopamine detox comes in. It's about resetting your brain's reward system.
Okay, so how does that actually work? Do we just cut out all things fun?
Not quite. It's more about being intentional. The English Dose podcast suggests starting by identifying your biggest distractions. What are those things that you constantly reach for when you're bored or stressed?
Social media for sure, and maybe a little online shopping.
Right. So the idea is to consciously replace those activities with things that promote focus and deep thinking.
So instead of scrolling through Instagram, I could read a book or something.
Exactly. Or go for a walk in nature. Meditate. Have a real conversation with someone.
It does sound kind of nice to disconnect for a bit. But I gotta admit, the idea of being bored kind of freaks me out.
And that's actually a good sign. Embracing boredom is a key part of the dopamine detox. When you allow yourself to be bored, you give your brain a chance to rest and reset. Those dopamine receptors can become more sensitive again.
So it's like hitting the refresh button on my brain.
Exactly. It's like clearing out your mental inbox. And the English Dose podcast emphasizes that the benefits can be pretty amazing.
Like what? Tell me more.
Well, they talked about improved focus, reduced cravings, better sleep, and even increased creativity. Basically, it's about regaining control over your attention in your life.
That sounds incredible. But starting a whole detox sounds kind of intimidating.
And that's why the key is to start small. The English Dose podcast really stresses this. You don't have to go cold turkey on everything you enjoy.
Phew, that's a relief.
Just pick one small change to experiment with. Maybe it's turning off notifications for an hour each day, or swapping one Netflix episode for a walk outside.
Okay, that feels doable.
And see how you feel. The goal is not to become a monk or anything. It's to find a healthier balance that works for you.
So to wrap things up, we've been talking about dopamine detox, a concept from the English Dose podcast. It's about giving your brain a break from constant stimulation and resetting those dopamine receptors.
Exact.
It's not about eliminating all sources of pleasure, but finding a healthier balance and regaining control. And the best part, you don't have to go all in right away. Start with one small change and experiment. See how it feels. Now, here's a question for you to ponder. What's one small thing you can do today to give your brain a little break? Maybe it's finally silencing those annoying notifications or just taking a few minutes to sit in silence and be present.
It's worth a shot.
It might surprise you how good it feels to just be, without all the noise. And hey, maybe you'll rediscover some simple joys you'd forgotten about.
I like that.
All right, that's it for our deep dive today. We'll catch you next time.